Is Nemesis overrated?
After Blackpool, we went to Alton Towers in England, the 9th park of our Halloween tour.
Alton Towers.
Alton Towers, my childhood dream park. Your first visit?
My first visit to Alton Towers. We're talking about our Coaster Breaks tour, and this is the extended part of our tour. So when I was traveling to go on Coaster Breaks tour, I realized that Nemesis was about to be closed on the weekend after the Coaster Breaks tour. And I never been a big fan of inverted coasters. But when I found out that it was going to be Nemesis final weekend, I was like, oh, I need to go there. I always wanted to go to Alton Towers. I mean, how could I miss that? We were in Fantasia Land. I was talking to Marcus about how much I wanted to go there. And obviously, Marcus has a whole history with the park and with Nemesis itself.
Yeah, so Nemesis is probably the ride that got me into roller coasters. If it wasn't for Nemesis, I wouldn't be sat on Wallaby Belgium right now. Nemesis was the first big coaster that I did as a child, as it is for a lot of British people. And that's why it becomes this big staple of enthusiasm in the UK. I did Corkscrew before going on Nemesis, but I never really thought of Corkscrew. I always thought about Nemesis as the number one first big coaster that I did.
We were in the queue for Terron and we were booking our flights. I was changing the hotels and I was spending a lot of money to go to an inverted coaster and I don't even like them. But the whole thing, it felt so right to do it. And I was so excited to extend the tour and get to go to Alton Towers, which is a great park. I loved Alton Towers. And I think it was so good to go there on that day because the park was full of people that were there for Nemesis.
The atmosphere was amazing.
It was, to have that final ride. I love the story that they create around Nemesis closure. So the whole phalanx story.
The phalanx. Is aliens or alien men from outer space are taking on, I don't know, some Nemesis thing. And now we don't know if they're from outer space or not from outer space. And they're people when they're not, but Nemesis. And it's hurting and it's alive and it's not alive. And they've got to repair it or not repair it or something. Nemesis.
Okay, so there's the story. What I love that they did, we went first thing in the morning, we went to Nemesis. It was like a normal ride on Nemesis, and during the day we came back a few times. And then they had the night show, the show with the drones, and the show was really good. Lights and music show for every ride in the park, and then there was a drone show. I really enjoyed it. And after the show was over, obviously everyone returned to Nemesis for a night ride, the last ride of the day. And what they did with the area was amazing. There was a lot of people with their suits.
Hazard suits on. They were cordoning areas off, caution tape everywhere.
They were giving us
wristbands as Nemesis test subjects.
Yeah, to go inside the queue. They did a whole thing there. It felt really cool.
It felt like such a huge event for such a huge coaster.
Yeah, it was a really cool atmosphere, and the last ride on Nemesis was amazing.
Is Nemesis overrated? That's the question that I've been asking myself quite a lot recently. Is Nemesis overrated? I'm going to say, yes, it is. Fuck off, Wasp. What the Wasp was like, how dare you say that about Nemesis? Which is a really difficult thing to say, because I love Nemesis. It's my rank 0. It was my number 1 for so long. But a lot of British enthusiasts, I think, we're all guilty of saying how, one of the world's best coasters, it's one of the best coasters in the UK. We talk about this all the time. So when someone comes over from America or Brazil
is in America.
Or elsewhere in Europe, and they get to experience Nemesis for the first time, they're going into something, experiencing oh, is this going to be the world's best info? By a long way. Like, not Montu and Nemesis close. It'll be like Nemesis, then Montu all the way down there. And we keep selling Nemesis like this. And I think we do this out of our passion for the coaster. We are so passionate for Nemesis. I am. I love it. I had to be there for the closing day. And it was so emotional saying goodbye to it. And there's so many people were getting emotional as well because we love it that much. And it's like British enthusiast pride. And that's why it's become overrated for someone outside of our own country, if that makes sense. It's a difficult one to explain.
The experience that you have on a ride, it counts for you to rank this.
Yeah, it can elevate it to the next level.
Yeah, so it does make sense. I think it, like, I'll probably rank Montezuma higher than you will. So it's...
So same with like Chico and Shambhala, like what that meant to you.
Exactly. So I think it does make sense for British people to rank Nemesis so high because it is like, even I'm not from England. I'm not really into inverted coasters and I still love Nemesis. It is good. So for British people that had all this feeling, I think it really makes sense to have Nemesis so high.
Yeah.
And I'll never say that again.
But I love Nemesis. I'm always going to love Nemesis. I can't wait to see what happens when it comes back in 2024. We're both going to be there as soon as we can.
Yeah, we're both like looking at the new trains and how it's being building right now.
Yeah, the track is looking interesting to say the least. I'm glad they're making it look really different. I think it's the right move.
I think it makes sense. I really love how the old tracks were, but I actually do like the new one.
I think it's time to close the door on the old Nemesis and be proud for what we had and to move forwards with the new one.
About the other coasters, for me, I think the coaster that I was more expecting was a Smiler. And Wickerman, I think, not because the coaster itself, but because, I don't know, one thing that I love about Alton Towers, I love the dark theming, the dark vibe that all the coasters that has. We were discussing about this on 13, for example. We're talking about it. We have kind of different opinions. Marcus thinks that like a family coaster is kind of weird that they have like a dark theming.
I think it's like, because I've been around the marketing side of it, and marketing a family coaster that you have to sign an agreement to let you on the coaster because it's that scary. And then it's a family coaster, which just, and everyone knows the marketing for 13, it just did not hit. And it gave you this expectation that the ride could not hit the level at.
Yeah, I agree with the expectations that they built. I don't think that was cool. But like when you have like higher expectations and then like I went on 13 knowing nothing. I never heard about 13 before. If you go for the first time knowing nothing about it, I think you kind of get like a good surprise there. And I do think but you were talking about how you prefer the theming on Pegasus Express, for example. Yeah. That is more suitable for a family
I like Pegasus
coaster.
Express, about a unicorn taking you on a taxi journey, rather than this whole horror thing. I just didn't think it fit the vibe. And when it replaced Ugland, which I used to go to growing up, and the whole sort of caveman style theming just looked amazing. And it kind of, I miss Ugland. There's bones and dinosaurs and rocks and amazing music. It was just, Ugland was great.
Yeah, but I think I kind of do like that the park has this whole dark vibes. And even with 13, even with like the family coaster, I think it just fits the park. I think it's amazing how they have like a castle, not a castle, but
towers.
Like the towers inside the park it's like real theming. So it's a real thing. And the fact that they have a riding side, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
I love Vekoma Madhouse, and it's the best queue, the best pre-show, the best theming. And I think the whole thing with I like talking back to the Smiler, the whole advertisement on Smiler, the thing on the queue, the
creepy
soundtrack. Yeah, it's so cool. The ride itself was a little bit disappointing. I hate the restraints. I think if there was like lap bar restraint as it's supposed to be, would be amazing. Cause the ride itself is actually good, but it's just like, yeah, I wouldn't say disappointed. I would just say like,
yeah, I mean, my favourite part of the Smiler is the airtime hills. And when your ride's famous for inversions and the best bit's airtime hills, it just doesn't hit.
I love
like
how we have like
Smiler.
an inversion getting off the station.
Yeah.
I think like it's,
There's certain aspects of Smiler I really like. I think it is iconic. I think it's cool to have the inversion record, British Park. I like the theming, but it's not enough to be ranked high for me. I think it's the best way to describe it.
like Wickerman. I love wooden coasters. My only problem with Wickerman is how short it is. But again, the theming is really cool. It is iconic as well. Like the Bob, how is it called?
Yeah, Bob, the statue, the Wicker Man statue in the middle.
And the pre-show, really cool. Oblivion is amazing.
Yeah, best drop on a dive coaster. I still love Oblivion. Ever since I first went on it, it's just the whole point of a dive coaster to me is the drop. Oblivion has the best drop, so maybe you can strike.
It has, but it is like what it needs to be. What else are we talking about? Galatica.
Wow, the first B&M flying coaster. Flying coaster is your type of thing. What did you?
It's my type. I love Galatica. I did. It was one of my favorites at the park.
Yeah. I love the way it does hold you on the back for quite a long period of time, which other B&M flying coasters don't do. So it's always got that unique element. Oh, I like that bit. And it was running really well.
It was.
It was running really good.
We decided to get fast passes for this day because we thought it's going to be Nemesis final day. It's obviously going to be busy.
You've not been there before.
My first time, we were not only for Nemesis, but I wanted to do every ride. I'm going to say that we actually didn't kind of need it.
No, it was a lot quieter than before.
Marcos is always panicking about fast passes. He always want to buy fast passes for every park.
I want to make sure I get. It helps me to relax.
Anxiety.
Yeah, fast passes and beer. That's my park go-tos.
But yeah, of course, it was helpful. So
I think it helped us to relax. But it probably wasn't needed.
But about the fast pass system.
We just went in a separate queue, they scanned it, and on we went. One ride per go we had, and that was fine. It got us on everything, and I think that was the main thing we both wanted.
We had an amazing day at Alton Towers. I love this park. I can't wait to go back after Nemesis is back as well. And after Alton Towers, we went to Spain. So make sure to subscribe to watch our next videos on Spain to see Marcus freaking out. We did more than roller coasters in Spain.
Stay tuned in the next episode to see where we're going next.
This is what we're doing now.